We are in front of the Israeli School, Universal Practical Knowledge, the Philadelphia Division, here at 3226 Cheltenham Avenue in Philadelphia. We're standing in front of the school right now, getting a description of the 12 tribe sign that's been painted by one of the brothers that was in the school: Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar. Those are the 12 tribes of Israel.
Shalom. Shalom. You've been waiting for this day, so this day has finally come. A lot of you have been wondering where this knowledge that you've been hearing is coming from, and the powerful truth that you've been hearing, how this was established. Well, we finally were able to arrange for the priests to come down from New York and spend some time with us. And I'd like to introduce them if I can. These are some great brothers. We're very glad to have them with us. We want to make them feel as warm as possible, because this is their work and the extension of their work and what they've laid down some time ago. I'd like to introduce, first of all, priest and Sixth Shield General, fourth in command in the nation of Israel, Lahab. I'd like to salute this brother, Majo. Barak. Yeshabiam, which means sit. And I'm going to turn it over now to Priest General Lahab.
Water, brother. I'd like to say this, starting off, we're very impressed at your school here, and we're very impressed to see that the brothers and sisters in Philadelphia think enough of the Most High and the Bible and the truth and your nationality to be a part of this, because most of the brothers and sisters are running from the truth.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Can you hear me, sir? I can't hear you, sir.
Hey, Slucky, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, sir. I can hear you now, sir.
Mic check. Hey, Slucky, can you hear me now? All right, Slucky. My mic was turned off. Yahba Shemel Shabrak Thumb to the brothers. All right, Yahba Shemal Thumb Shemel Shah to the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer Sherry One. I got with me the mighty Priest and Officer 500 Ahabawan. What's going on, Priest?
Nothing much, sir. Yahba Shemel Shabbat to the brothers. Yahba Shemal Thaba Shemel Shah to the sisters.
God.
Just another day in this hellhole.
Yeah. Yeah, and to that, we got a good topic tonight. Just addressing a little bit on the history of drug abuse, drug use, drug addiction, drug dealing, everything pertaining to drugs over in the society. And, to your point, it is absolute hell. You know what I mean? So many of our brothers and sisters have got caught up in drugs, and we've seen so many families destroyed. You know what I mean? From drug addiction, drug use, drug dealing. You know what I mean? Anything pertaining to drugs.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And one of the reasons, I would die for my brothers in this truth is because, I strongly support everything that we do and teach. You know what I mean? And give a solution to get out of this hell. If you could, Habawan, grab that verse. I suffer not a witch to live. You know what I mean? I saw a sister earlier today saying something about the Bible wasn't written by God. The Bible was written by men.
I had a sister tell me that today too.
Oh, good night. And she sat up here and said how man wrote this book, and men are liars, and men are imperfect, and this and that. You know what I mean? Going on to try to disprove and tear down this record that we have, that we hold so valuable in the ISUPK. You know what I mean? It's so valuable, especially for scriptures like this. I'm gonna break down this whole class tonight because I saw an article, where some of our Gadite brothers in Canada are, shouting out for some kind of help and injustice, asking for the Canadian government to help them with, some of their problems. And really, if these Gadite brothers and sisters would just come to the ISUPK, we would solve all their drug problems.
Sir, if I may, we got a couple people in the chat already.
Yeah, go ahead, shout them out.
We got Sister Kalayakar. I think I probably butchered the sister name.
Yep, Kalayakar.
Okay.
Yep.
And then we got UPK Adam. Out of Greensville, South Kakalaki. Hey, look, sir. Yeah. I'm in Somerville. Hit me up so we can run into each other.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy.
Because I think Greensville, I might be like an hour or two away from Greensville. Yep.
Oh, that's nothing.
That ain't nothing. I get on the road.
That's what's up. Y'all two need to get out, go for a drink or something. You know what I mean? Gather together like the Bible says.
You said when two or more are gathered together in my name, I am in the midst.
Yeah.
I think the Lord was talking about alcohol. No.
Lock it. Ain't no sweat. You got that verse for me?
Got another one coming.
Yeah, let's read that.
This is Exodus chapter 22 and verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
You know what's heavy? And I had to do a little research, and I forgot. I looked this up before. Maybe it slipped my mind to do a class on this, but tonight's definitely the night for it. The Bible says, I suffer not a witch to live. That is a drug dealer. You know what I mean? Like, that is straight up a death penalty offense for dealing drugs in the nation of Israel. You know what I mean? To that sister saying that, this book is written by men and all the imperfections that it has, what we fail to realize many times is the practicality of this book. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? How to apply this book to real everyday life. And what we see in the ISUPK, we see a people who are drug-free. You know what I mean? The ISUPK, we've built a system and community where we do not have drug addiction. We have the solution how to get off drugs. You know what I mean? I've seen Christians inside that Christian church for 40 years and could never get off of drugs. You know what I mean? That is, something Christ taught us well. You know what I mean? To know them by their fruits, to see what a place produces, see what a society or an organization produces. Because the fruits of the Christian church is you go there for 40 years and you're still going to be addicted to drugs.
Damn right.
You're still going to go through divorce. You're still going to have problems in your life. The Christian church doesn't provide solutions. You know what I mean? And to that sister's point, saying that the Bible is written by men, well, when you follow doctrines of men, when you follow philosophies of men, you stay destroyed as a people. That's what we've seen time and time again. But in the ISUPK, this is the first place I have ever found on this earth that teaches and follows this book, teaches and follows these records. You know what I mean? And when we apply this knowledge in this Bible, you know what I mean, we can get up out of this hell that Ahabawan is living in. We can get out of this hell that Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous are living in. I'm going to share this article really quick. I got a few articles. We don't have to fully go through it.
It's lucky, sir. I was sending out some text messages trying to get some trolls.
No, ain't no sweat. Yeah, I got a bunch of articles. We don't got to fully go through them, but just to touch on the topic, you know what I mean, and to understand some of the problems we go through. All right, this is an article from APTN News. Shout out APTN News. I love, following this platform. They cover our Gadite brothers, Indigenous brothers in Canada, and all the stories going on in their community. You know what I mean? So I like using this platform, Lord, allow to help bridge the gap and make that bond to understand that Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous, we all go through the same thing. You know what I mean? We're all brothers, all of us going through the same thing, and we need to gather together so we can get out of this hell that we live in. It says, First Nations declare regional public health emergency in Manitoba. Let me close this. It says First Nations declare regional public health emergency in Manitoba over toxic drug supply, HIV, and housing crisis. You know what I mean? This is, again, 2026. Our people living in absolute hell. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring this story up is because it's like when you look historically at the things that we've been trying to improve it as a society, why are these things still problems today? Like, housing crisis is supposed to be a problem of a third world country. You know what I mean? Medical emergencies and, plagues and viruses. These are things that are supposed to affect third world countries. You know what I mean? You go over to Africa, everybody's dying of polio disease.
Mm-hmm.
That does not exist in North America. We get our vaccination, I don't know, by the age of 3, you've had, 10 different vaccinations as a baby. You know what I mean? If you're following and listening to your doctor, and because of it, we don't die of things of, malaria and polio. But in Africa, they're dying by the thousands of that disease. You see what I'm saying? Now you're looking in 2026, we're reading an article of HIV being a crisis. You know what I mean? Why don't we have the solution to it? It's funny, there was an article last year, Ahabawan.
Yes, sir.
That the city of Windsor released. It was on CTV News. And they were speaking on how terrible or how bad the HIV and STDs are inside the city of Windsor. And as I'm reading down in the article, you know what I mean? Matter of fact, I could probably pull it up. As I'm reading down through the article, it goes on to say that, you know, the problem for HIV and STDs is drug use and same-sex relations. You see what I'm saying? So now, if medical professionals understand that something like, you know, HIV is a problem of a man sleeping with a man, then why is Canada, why is America so gung-ho on pushing same-sex marriage?
I can give you the conspiracy theory behind that, sir.
Go ahead.
The conspiracy theory, because it's population control. That's what the conspiracy would say. But we understand that America is modern day Babylon, right? And Babylon does everything against the Most High, right? If the Most High has a law or a law for one thing, something simple, keep the Passover. How many of us keep the Passover? Keep the proper Passover. If you're not in the ISUPK, you're not keeping the Passover properly.
Right.
We don't seen cats with ham at the Passover. We don't seen cats at the strip club on the Passover. You know, they're not following law, statutes, and commandments. Stop following them stupid ass rules.
That's right.
Right. Because guess what? The blind shall lead the blind, and they both shall fall in the ditch. Right. Paraphrasing that scripture. Understand, is a dumbass leading another dumbass, and y'all both doing some dumb stuff.
Right. Damn right. Which goes to, you know, the title of the class. I named it 50 Years of War Against Drugs or For Drugs. Because, like you said, it's such a heavy point, Ahabuwan. You got the blind leading the blind. You know what I mean? And what did Christ say? If the blind lead the blind, both of them shall fall into a ditch. Now, if you have somebody leading you towards something that is dangerous and you follow that leadership, you're going to be destroyed with that person. This is the article I remember reading. This came out last year. It said Health Unit warns of alarming rise in sexually transmitted infections inside Windsor, Essex. Now, when you jump down to the end of the article, it says priority populations. Adults ages 20 to 44 who represent the highest incidence group for chlamydia and gonorrhea. Men who have sex with men who are at elevated risk for HIV and syphilis. People who use substances, particularly those who inject drugs, due to the risk of hepatitis B, C, and HIV. Sex workers and individuals with multiple or anonymous sexual partners. People experiencing homelessness or unstable housing who often face barriers to accessing healthcare and regular testing. It means the city of Windsor's, who did it say, their health unit knows exactly, you know, who's at risk of getting HIV. Who is exactly at risk of getting sexually transmitted infections. Now, if the health unit was, you know, so, you know, truly about ending this problem, you know what the health unit would do, Ahabuwan? They put a big ass sign up on the hospital saying men should not sleep with men.
Yes, they would.
I mean, they put up a big ass sign on the hospital saying that, you know, not to turn your daughter into a whore, not to go to strip clubs and pay for prostitution. You know what I mean? Like, these things would be up on the health unit if they were really about stopping that. You want to know who says that you should never go into a strip club, Ahabuwan?
I think I can guess.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say, sir, the ISUPK 4000.
Man, ISUPK is winning.
Yeah, this Jeopardy.
You know what I'm saying? Like the ISUPK is winning. It's been winning since 1969. You know what I mean? It is solving the problems in this earth. If you could grab
If I may, sir, before we move on,
yeah, go ahead.
that scripture where it says, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live,"
Okay.
and a lot of people don't understand how that pertains to drug dealers, right? So I could break it down, but would you want to go ahead and hit it first?
Look, that verse, we are gonna speak on that verse throughout this entire damn class.
Come on.
I promise you. You know what I mean? Because it's such a, you know what I mean? It is damn near the basis of this whole class. You know what I mean? The cure for all these problems right here. Because, and what's interesting, you know, I just thought about that now as I said the timeline. The ISUPK has been established since 1969. You know when the war on drugs started, Ahabawan?
I don't remember, sir. I can't say I remember.
Oh, right in the 1970s.
I figured the war on drugs had to be early 70s because when the 80s hit,
Yeah.
it was a you know, all I don't understand if they had the war on drugs. I think it started in the 80s. That's what would be my assumption. I have to look it up.
Yep.
Because I would say the reason why I started early 80s is because if it would have started in the 70s, I think the drugs were pushed in the 70s. And then the war on drugs started because that's when in the 80s is when the DARE programs
Right.
showed up. And they started to bring those DARE programs into like elementary level schooling, right? In the you know, rural, not rural, in the city areas where we stay at, in the hood.
Okay.
Right. So now they're telling us say no to drugs. But if you think about it, you got to have some drug right there in your face, like no. You understand? So in other words, it was kind of pushing us, the DARE program was kind of pushing us towards drugs, not away from it. That means you have to be in the vicinity. In order to say no to drugs, you got to be in the vicinity of the drug to say no to it. What if you just don't go around people that smoke crack? Or you don't go around people that chew heroin?
Yeah.
You don't go around people that smoke weed. What if you just don't go around them? Then you don't got to say no to it. But that's Abawan. That's not ISUPK.
Look, we gonna bring out some real practical knowledge, you know, in this class because too many of our people are suffering. You know what I mean? Too many of our people are suffering to this day over these goddamn drugs.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something, sir, if I may.
Yeah, go
ahead. Anybody that grew up in my neighborhood know that it was a young lady in our neighborhood, and I'm not gonna say her name, right? But she lived on Monica. She started smoking crack at 12 years old. Right now, I'm a year older than this young lady. Right? She's still smoking crack to this day. And that's at 12. Started at 12 years old smoking crack. I don't understand how you, as you know, you not only just introduce somebody's drugs, how do you introduce a 12-year-old to crack?
Yeah, that's my heart goes out to that sister. Yeah, you know I mean, I've seen that's, you know, there's a couple topics that touch me a little, and drugs is one of them. I've seen, you know, too many people close to me destroyed by drugs. You know what I mean? It's like I'm sure I'm not alone. You know what I mean? I met so many brothers in the UPK, you know, and really blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous, you know, who go through the same thing. You know what I mean? So, let me play a video, you know, kind of showing you the spirit of our oppressor. Let me see. Yeah, I got it open right here. Let me show my screen. This is I'm not sure if I ever played this for you, Habawan. This was I believe this was a couple of years ago when we were getting ready to vote for Canada's new president. We call it a prime minister.
So what's the difference between a prime minister and a president?
I think I think really the only thing is that Canada's under the Queen. They're under British rulership.
So the prime minister would be like the governor.
He's like he's almost like a governor. You know what I mean? Like he stands on the affairs of the Queen. But he basically the president.
Okay. But you know, the president controlled by somebody too. So
What's that?
the president is controlled by someone too.
Oh yeah.
Right now, it look like he's controlled by them Epstein files.
Yep. You know, what history tells us is that European rulership, they are controlled by every evil spirit known to man.
If I may, sir, you know the reason why, right? The reason why is because they got so much dirt, right? They did so much dirt to get where they're at. Now, each one of those specks of dirt is attached to a string, and somebody can pull that string at any given time. So they have to walk according to those strings being pulled. So they're puppets.
God. I'm gonna take it even deeper. Grab Malachi, Book of Malachi, chapter 1. I think it's verse 4, where it speaks on the border, Esau being the border of wickedness. And I'm gonna play this video. Now check this out, boy. Since we had a prime minister named Justin Trudeau, when he was in office, you know, this man running to be the next president of Canada, he was saying how while grocery prices are soaring, gas prices are soaring, the price of expensive drugs has gone down.
Can't hear him.
You can't hear this?
Can't hear it.
Oh, slacky. Let me open this on a different tab. Let's see if that works. Close that. All right, let's see if we can hear this.
Housing gas prices soaring, but there's one.
Is that working now?
Yep, I can hear, sir.
All
Go
right.
One substance that has gone down in price by 90%. Powerful.
He said these drugs have gone down 90% in price inside of Canada.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
It may sound foolish, but how does he know? So I went and bought some more cocaine the other day.
what we really see, you look up all the statistics, you're gonna see that white people, Europeans, they are the drug addicts of this earth.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? You look up statistics, these people, you think that, you know, drugs on the reserve or the ghetto is bad. You haven't seen nothing.
You don't understand. We can't really afford drugs like that.
Shoot. Yeah.
But if you go to one of these political parties and there's mountains of cocaine, the pink kind.
Yep. God.
He's like, an A-ball don't even cost me that much no more.
Right.
Opioids. After the Prime Minister announced $100 million.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt the Honourable Leader of the Opposition. Can you start from the top? We're just getting some distractions from all over. From the top, please. Order.
While the Prime Minister has sent inflation for gas, heat, and groceries soaring, there is one product that's actually come down in price: powerful opioids. The Prime Minister has spent $100 million on so-called safe supply. One Global News reporter went into the street to find out where all these drugs are going. Turns out they're being resold to other addicts.
Now, this was Canada's solution under Justin Trudeau to the drug problem. They spent $100 million, over $100 million, on these safe injection sites. Okay, Canada opened up a bunch of, and I think we spoke on this before. They went around opening, a bunch of different places where you can go to get high and get quote unquote safe drugs. You know what I mean? Drugs that aren't laced with fentanyl. You know what I mean? Drugs that weren't made in somebody's basement. You know what I mean? Where somebody was putting, cinnamon or baking powder or, some kind of bullshit inside the drugs that you're getting. Canada thought it would be smart that if we supply people with the drugs, then we'll help fix this drug crisis that we have.
Hey, if I may?
Yep, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you where you got that from. You ever see the TV show The Wire?
The Wire. Khan.
Remember Amsterdam?
I haven't watched it in a while.
So Amsterdam was a place where you could go and use your drugs, sell your drugs,
right?
And it's safe. You won't get, police won't interfere or nothing like that. As long as you don't kill nobody.
Yeah.
You can use and smoke and sell all the drugs you want in Amsterdam.
Right.
So he didn't come up with it. He got it from watching The Wire.
God. God. And they went as far as to actually implement this. You know what I mean? Now, again, like you said, the blind leading the blind. You know what I mean? When Christ spoke on, "You shall know them by their fruits." What do you think happened when Canada introduced, this massive amount of drugs into the population?
The price of drugs went up.
Well, let's see what he says.
In order to raise the money to buy deadly fentanyl, will the Prime Minister cancel the dollars for drugs and instead put the resources into treatment for addicts?
The Honourable Minister for Mental Health.
Mr. Speaker, we are pretty fed up with this fight against evidence-based programs that actually are saving lives.
This devil. She said, yeah, go ahead, R1.
She said the fight against evidence-based programs. You know what that means? These programs are working.
Right. That's what she's saying.
She said is she fed up with the fight against evidence-based programs? Okay.
That's what she's saying. She's getting tired of everybody fighting against these programs that we have, all these drugs we're giving out to the community, because the evidence is showing that it's working. That's what she's saying. Now,
giving them drugs is working.
Now, did we not just read an article on Hubble One speaking on the drug crisis inside of Canada? That's what we read. Here we are years later, and we're seeing what those blind leaders led us to. This is something I love about history, is when you look at history, you know what I mean? You can learn something from it. You can look at, an entire fall of an entire nation you can see where they made mistakes, where they messed up. You know what I mean? You can look historically, and you can look at marriages. You can go into history and look at how to do good business. You know what I mean? You can look historically and learn how to do anything. You know what I mean? You can look at what works and what does not work. You know what I mean? Like, here we are in 2026. We're supposed to be so goddamn advanced. You know what I mean? We're supposed to be, quote unquote, moving forward. So why do we have this drug crisis in 2026? You know what I mean? How many more children have to grow up without parents? How many more families have to be destroyed? How many more people have to go sit in prison? You know what I mean? All the problems that comes with drugs, all the health concerns that come with drugs, all the goddamn death. Like, we haven't learned that doing drugs isn't bad for us. She's sitting here saying how the evidence is showing that releasing all these drugs in the community is good. That's what the evidence shows. I'm curious to know the evidence on how many people have died over drugs. We can't talk about that? God damn.
We cannot allow the conservatives to take us back to the failed ideology of the past. Even Harper's advisor, Ben Perrin, thinks they're speaking nonsense. So just stop it and save lives.
See how passionate she is, Hubble One, about doing drugs?
Yes, she need a fix.
Yeah.
She need a fix.
She probably did a line before getting inside there.
No, it's that second line that got her amped.
Yeah, right. I can never get this lady's face out of my head. I remember the first time I saw this, because I was in such disbelief that, damn, these white people really believe in this shit. Lucky, look how many people clapping for her, huh, boy?
Everybody, is that the prime minister sitting in the big chair?
I believe that's a judge.
Judge.
Yeah, he's one of the.
So if you look, he's the only one that's not clapping.
Man, these people, Canadians have lost their damn mind. You know what I mean?
What you have to do, sir, what you have to look at this and see is that you saying the Canadians have lost their damn mind. These look like Edomites have lost their damn mind, sir. I'm searching the room. I don't see anybody.
That's what I'm talking about. You're a black man in Canada. You say you're Canadian, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's how it is in Canada. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, no, where you really from?
So you come over there, I'm saying I'm Canadian. I'm about to piss everybody off. Canadian. I was born out the dirt of this.
Canadian means you are a white European. That's the definition of a Canadian.
The opposition.
Wait, hold on. Was these guys on the other side opposing her view?
You have one side opposing, the other side saying, yes, yeah, this works.
So I see all the people on her side clapping, and the opposer looking at her like she a crackhead.
God. Well, and this is just politics. You know what I mean? For all you know, the people clapping, they don't really believe in it, but they just want a certain party to win.
Understood. Well, this is a perfect example. This is a perfect example of left wing and right wing.
Right.
Because look at it. I tell people like this all the time. It don't matter if you left wing, you vote for the left wing or you vote for right wing. I know we don't vote, but I tell people, like, when you go out and vote and you say you left wing or right wing, it's the same damn bird.
Okay.
It's the same bird. So the bird, what do birds do? They eat worms. You're a worm. You don't get ate. They eat small prey. Our blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics need to understand they are the small prey. And with them being the small prey, the eagle gonna swoop down and eat you up, regardless of what government it is. Until we stand under Christ's government, then know, all this stuff right here is fictitious to us.
God. Yeah, I mean, and that's why if you could bring up that verse in Ezekiel where he said, I would be a little sanctuary to you.
You ain't want the one in Malachi first?
Oh, yeah, go ahead and bring that verse up. Go ahead and read that.
Malachi 1:4. This is Malachi.
Does that speak on the border of wickedness?
I'll start at 3. This is Malachi chapter 1, verse 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragon of the wilderness. Verse 4. Wherefore Edom saith, we are impoverished, and we will return and build the desolate area of the desolate places.
Keep going.
Thus say the Slakia.
Keep going.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord has indignation for.
God. Like that, the border of wickedness, meaning that you think of a land border, you know, where two countries meet. When you cross that border, God said, when you enter into Esau's land, you've entered the land of wickedness. You see what I'm saying? That's why, you know, to that point you were bringing out earlier, that's why these drugs are running rampant inside this nation. Because you have entered into a wicked place. That's why the Lord has indignation against Esau forever.
Yes, sir.
You think the Lord looks down and loves these Europeans? The Lord is looking at these people with indignation forever. It's never going to change. Why? Because they sit up here and spend $100 million on putting drugs in your community. That's what they do. That is a land of wickedness. You would think they could spend $100 million on giving natives some clean drinking water.
It don't cost $100 million to give Flint clean water. It doesn't.
It does not. It does not. They got machines now, Habawan. You probably know about this. They make clean drinking water out of the atmosphere.
Out of air. Yep.
You know what I mean? Just like your dehumidifier.
You see the same thing with condensation on the side of your glass.
God. Yep. all these machines do is once they take that condensation, you know, or that you know, the water from the air, it just goes through a purification system, and then you got clean water.
Yes, sir.
You telling me that you need $100 million for that? They got commercial machines that are like $2,000. You know what I mean? Get you hundreds of thousands of gallons of water per day. You know what I mean? That's why we say in the ISUPK that the white man is the devil.
Damn right.
I mean, this is a land of wickedness. This is not a land of safety. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't have these HIV and STD problems when we know that, especially when we just read that the health unit knows the problem. The health unit knows it comes from a man sleeping with a man. Health unit knows it comes from, you know, you're just out here sleeping with every goddamn woman and throwing them away.
So if I may, sir.
Yep.
The health unit is governmental, right? A government tier. The health unit is government tier, right?
Yep.
So with the health unit being a government tier, and we understand that when we do these cop movies, right? Do these DEA movies, these FBI movies, these movies got to be ran past the government in order for these to be pushed out into the public, right? So when you do these movies, the health unit is a part of the government that understands that men having sex with men causes AIDS and syphilis and all that kind of stuff, right? But the other part of the government that controls the movie industry puts out in the movies And the TV shows, because the government controls what goes on your TV. What's the it's not FAA, that's for the aircraft. What's it called when they control the television? What's put on the television? Because you have ratings for movies, right? That's another government regulatory system. Right. Why? You should ask yourself, why don't they work together? If this side knows that men having sex with men is causing the upkeep in sexual transmitted disease, then why does this side put it out in movies and music and entertainment, right? You can't turn on a television show and you don't see no man on man. Right? It's even in the children's shows. Look at Teletubbies.
Yep.
You see, so the government pushed these shows, and Teletubbies, here's why I brought that out, because that was on PBS, and that's supposed to be a government-funded show for children.
God. You know,
Bernie and Honey been living together for the longest, ain't neither one of them had no girlfriend. But yeah, still, Ernie in the tub with his rubber ducky, and Bert singing a song with him.
Right. Yep. That's that's the nonsense that they push. You know what I mean? Like there was you look up what AIDS used to be called in the 1980s. It used to be called gay-related immune deficiency.
Yep.
And you had medical facilities, who were seeing, phenomenons like pneumonia and cancer popping up, and it was only popping up amongst gay males. That's why they called it GRID, the gay-related immune deficiency, because you're doing some kind of sexual deviancy, and it's destroying your immune system. You know what I mean? Look at COVID. When COVID hit, how many people died, Ahabawan? Were people dying of COVID, or were people dying because they had some underlying issue?
They claimed it was underlying issues. So if you contracted COVID, it was because you had underlying issues that caused you to pass away.
Right.
But you contracted COVID.
God.
Because you live with those underlying issues. COVID is what killed you.
God. Yep. And that's part of the point of me saying that is that COVID was killing you, but your body was so weak. It had all these deficiencies. You know what I mean? Like God said, the Most High said that we're supposed to live a long life.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? A long, healthy life. And following these laws, statutes, and commandments allow us to do that. But when you're sitting here with all these different problems, you know what I mean? Imagine you got AIDS because you're a man sleeping with a man, and then you get hit with COVID, and you know what I mean? And you're smoking cigarettes, and the Canadian government's pushing drugs in your community. Nigga, you ain't got more than 20
15
years.
minutes.
You see what I'm saying?
Remember Jay-Z had that song 24 Hours to Live?
Right. Come on, man. This is not a life where you can live long. Live a long, healthy life. You know what I mean? This is a place where you live and gotta deal and battle with every single goddamn disease there is on earth. Because of the lifestyle that this government pushes you to live. You know what I mean? I'm going to finish up this video.
The opposition.
Speaker.
Order. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
No common sense. The evidence.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you looking at it like, what the hell are we talking about?
You know what he ain't want to do, right? You stupid, dumb.
Right. Right.
WB.
Right. Yeah, right.
I ain't talking about Warner
seen
Brothers.
in the tragic faces of addicts who lie overdosed on the pavement in the downtown east side of Vancouver, where after this prime minister spent $100 million handing out free drugs to addicts, he has led to a 300% increase.
A 300% increase.
In overdoses. Will he?
Come on.
Amsterdam.
This program is supposed to be working, Abu. It has caused a 300% increase in overdoses. I can stop the video there.
So my question is this, sir.
Yep.
If you taking, just say you got high blood pressure, and you take a high blood pressure pill, and we're taking your high blood pressure pill, it causes your blood pressure to go up 300%.
Right.
Right? Do you continue to take that pill?
Hell no.
No.
You know, call your doctor and say something is wrong.
It's something wrong with it.
Yep.
And with it being something wrong with it, if what his numbers are saying, they're true, and since they started Amsterdam, you got a 300% uptick in overdoses, you got to go back to the drawing board.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that the white man is the devil, and he cares about one thing: greenbacks. Oh no, y'all got greenbacks. Y'all got the food stamp looking dollar over there. Yeah. He cares about his bottom line.
God.
And think about it. When Donald Trump got in office, he wasn't a trillionaire. Now he got tens of trillions of dollars.
God.
And has not done anything to help America.
Right.
What has he done to help America besides allow his fellow patriots and his brothers and sisters to run rampant on blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics? Look what ISIS is running up in everybody house. The Hispanic people in Detroit moved amongst the black folk in Detroit, right? And started to build the houses, build the neighborhoods up, right? The ICE agents, after these people got these houses built up, like this area was ran down. You know how Hispanics do. You get 20 or 30 of them, they put the house together in 30 days.
Right.
Now, the police has busted in doors over there, but these basically newly built houses, busted in doors over there, snatching folk out the houses. So you got black folk in the neighborhood with whistles. So when they see ICE, they get to blow. Everybody get to blowing whistles, right? And then when you hear the whistle, you handle your business. So you understand that this oppressor is destroying, and black people need to understand is that once he has removed every Hispanic from the United States, he's going to come after your black ass next.
Right.
He's going to figure out a way. That's why he's trying to get rid of birthright citizenship.
Right.
Because he wants to come after you next. And where you got to understand, being a black man, right? Being in America 3-4 generations, about 3 generations after slavery, 4 generations after slavery.
Right.
Where are you gonna go back to? Ain't no more Negro land in Africa.
Right. If I could, I want.
Come on, sir.
I'm gonna read this because this is very important to this class. What you're saying right now. It says, I just did a quick AI search, okay, and see if you can look up how many people Donald Trump has deported. Okay.
They say he still ain't deported as many as Obama.
Right. So yeah, just look up how many people he's deported and how much money he's spent on deporting all these people. All right, get those two numbers for me. It says, this is a quick AI overview. It says there is no data showing that drug problems have decreased in America as a result of deporting Mexican immigrants. While the Trump administration has linked undocumented immigrants to the flow of narcotics, empirical evidence and federal tracking demonstrate that the domestic drug crisis operates independently of these immigration actions. What does that mean? Operate independently? That deporting Mexicans has nothing to do with the drug crisis in America. That's what it means, Ahaba. You know what I mean? I'm gonna pull up a video I got here on something that Singapore did. Because Singapore is known for having the lowest drug problem on this god green earth. You got those numbers, Ahaba?
Give me 2 seconds. I got one of them. I'm getting the other side for you right now.
All right, no sweat. Because this is something that Singapore did, and I got an article we're going to read on Singapore, on something interesting that they did.
In Singapore, reminders of the law are everywhere. Security cameras help to police the city-state, and strict rules ensure the country's famously low levels of crime. But punishment...
Now, this is something Singapore has done. It says strict rules is what has led Singapore to having the lowest drug problem in the world. Rules. Imagine that. You know something, the first thing that I was told as a brother coming into the ISUPK, you know what it was, Ahaba?
No, I can't fathom.
Brother told me to put on all black.
Yep, put on all black.
That was the first thing I was told coming in the ISUPK. It was a rule that was introduced to my life. That was it. And you know what I did the first time I came out? I had on 90% black, and I had a brown boots on.
Been there.
I had some brown Timbs on.
Been there. That's not all black.
That's I was told, brother, that's not all black. Don't do that again.
I had on all black, sir. white Nike.
Yeah.
All black, head to toe. Some little white Nike thing right here.
Okay.
And that ain't all black.
Okay.
The strict enforcement of rules put us in all black.
Okay.
Because the next time, you don't got to tell me it's not all black.
That's right.
And what's so heavy about Singapore, sir, is that what you have to understand is their government has strict rules on drugs, but their government also isn't assisting to funnel the drugs into their neighborhood cities.
That's right.
You got to understand, Ronald Reagan started the war on drugs.
Okay.
And I think that was 84. So Ronald Reagan and his wife started the DARE program.
Okay.
Right? So with that being said, they started the war on drugs, but they was pumping the drugs into the neighborhood. How you gonna fight against something? That's like me saying, you know what? I want my kids to learn how to drive, but I keep slashing the tires.
Right.
Right.
Now I gotta ask you a question, Ahaba. Would you say, when you look back on history, has there been 50 years of a war against drugs? Or would you say that there's 50 years of being pro-drugs?
I have to say it's 50 years of pro.
God.
I have to say, and the reason why I have to say it's pro is because that I don't see I don't see how you fight against drugs and legalize it.
Right.
Right. And the only reason why you legalize it because you see how much money Brothers was making selling weed.
There you go.
Right. They seen how much money Brothers was making in Michigan selling weed. So guess what? Now weed legal in Michigan.
That was it.
They seen how much money in Windsor and Toronto. because in Toronto they just had they just ran out because some dude was out there shooting. Remember? Some dude was out there shooting, so they had active shooters. So you see police running down the street, scared as hell because of active shooters. They don't like active shooters.
Right.
They like black people in cars that argue with them about identification. That's what they like.
Yep.
Because I posted a video the other day. A brother was arguing with them about identification, and about 10 cops lit the car up.
I saw that. I just saw that video today, I think it was.
It was about 10 cops, and they lit the car up. So they put 100 rounds in there easy. So to get back to your point, sir, there has the Department of Homeland Security credits its Project Homecoming and enforcement efforts with the departure of 2.2 million undocumented immigrants through voluntary self-deportation. I don't understand how you grab a nigga out their house and throw them in jail and say that's voluntary self-deportation.
So America has spent their time deporting, what does that say, 2.2 million Mexicans?
Yes, sir.
So America spent their time, Donald Trump, under Donald Trump, deporting 2.2 million Mexicans.
And one African.
That shows you something that America is against.
Yes.
Because what did Christ say? He shall know them by their fruits.
Yes, sir. If I may, sir.
Go ahead.
The federal government spent nearly $1 billion on the incentive and the exit app programs used to facilitate these departures, right? With officials often stipending the rolls to $2,600 alongside free flights. So they spent that. That's just for the $1 billion. It looks like that's just for the tactical forces that it's another $2,600 when you got to fly somebody somewhere. Right. So they're giving them free flights. So they hooked up with the FAA so they can go ahead and get these cats free flights. If you fly them out the country, you got to escort them. You probably got to escort them through the airport. So with escorting them through the airport, you need a agent with them, whether it be ICE or federal, whatever, to make sure they get on the plane, get off that plane in their country.
Right.
Because who's to say you walk me to the airport and I go in the back? I go in, I go on the front and come out the back.
Yeah,
right.
This place is absolutely a place of wickedness. We're gonna say Babylon, the place of every foul beast. You know what I mean? Like this place is really evil as hell. You know what I mean? Like if there's something in you that doesn't want that, wouldn't see some kind of joy in seeing this place destroyed. It really shows which side you're on.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? You just sat there and watched the government spend over $1 billion towards deporting people out of a country. Why not put those resources towards drugs?
Sir, if I could bring something up.
Yeah, go ahead.
You just watched the government spend $1 billion to kick people out the country. How much money did they spend to bring our asses into the country?
Right. Look, they probably going to bring them back, one.
They're going to bring them back. They want to bring them back as slaves.
That's
See,
right.
America wants to go back to cattle slavery.
God.
Right. Look at, I watched, when you get a chance, it's a movie called The 24th. And it's about this group of brothers. They were soldiers in the 24th. I forget what army platoon it was called, but it was the first time a brother had arrested a white man, and they actually for killing a brother, and they actually took him into the custody. They actually took this white man into custody. Now they released his ass a couple days later dropped all the charges and said there was no evidence, even though they had him, the body, and the knife that he stabbed the brother with.
Mm.
They released him because there was no evidence. Right? So the brother was murdered, and so now in this movie, now the white folk are getting together and they started a mob. They created a mob and they're going to attack the soldiers because the soldiers kicked their ass.
Huh.
So now they're going to attack the soldiers and the white mob, and the soldiers is going through the city, dropping them. And most of these people that they're fighting against is law enforcement. Right? So even though it's legal, don't mean it's lawful.
Right.
Right? And when I say legal and lawful, legal in the eyes of the United States, lawful in the eyes of God.
God. Yep, damn right. You know what I mean? And again, that goes back to, you know, just setting rules. You know what I mean?
And that was the big thing. Jim Crow is the law.
God.
White folk upheld Jim Crow.
Right. That damn right. You know what I mean? Like when you have rules and regulations and structure and laws, you know what I mean? You create that's the definition of a civilization. They call it a place of law and order. To be civilized, to be civil. When America says, you know what? We're going to legalize the use of drugs. We're going to let everybody just smoke weed all day long.
So they legalized being uncivilized.
There you go. Look up the definition of what civilization means. Because you live in a place that is not civilized. You had I remember that man. He was from Florida. I don't remember what year that was. There was a man from Florida who pushed so hard to get strip clubs open all throughout America. And he won. He won that battle, and now you have a strip club on every corner in America.
Look at this, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, read that.
Definition of civilization: the stage of human social and cultural development and organization that is considered most advanced.
Mm-hmm.
So if drugs retard the mind, right? Not just in its development, because if you give a child drugs at a young age, certain type of drugs at a young age, it'll retard their mind. But as an adult, think about it. When you get high, right? You really don't think correctly.
Mm.
So it retards your thought pattern and your how can I say it? Your reasoning. So it retards your reasoning.
Good night.
But civilization is, as we just read, civilization is the development of the organization, right, that is considered most advanced. So how can legalizing drugs be civilized?
Yeah.
When it retards, it does not make you the most advanced.
God.
Now, there's some drug addicts out there that has done some good things, like Sean Kemp could jump, and Daryl Strawberry said, what's his name? Daryl Strawberry could hit a ball 500 feet.
Mm.
Right? You probably thought it was a rock.
Good night.
Right? Right? So how can you say, right, you allow these individuals to legalize drugs? They're trying to retard you so they can control you. If they retard your thinking and your mind's reasoning, now I have an advantage over you.
God.
Anytime I go up against my enemies and they want 16 pounds of cocaine up their nose, take it first and then we'll reason after that. I'm gonna win every time.
Good night.
I'm already gonna beat them without the cocaine. I'm gonna decimate them with it. The Vietnam War was lost because of the and America said they didn't lose the war. Yes, they did. More people died in the Vietnam War than any other war except for the Civil War that happened in America. So the Vietnamese was saying, black man, it's not your war. Right? But what they did was they pumped weed and heroin and stuff to the soldiers. Because they knew that if I give these soldiers some drugs, they're not going to be able to perform their tasks or their training into completion.
Right.
They're going to be high as hell, and a monkey going to look like a bird.
Come on, man. They sitting there giving drugs to the goddamn soldiers.
Yes. I'm going to fight against. Look, Hitler, if you look at it, Hitler did it too. Hitler was giving his soldiers meth.
That's right.
And they were advancing terrains in one day that should have took them 4 days.
God.
But guess what happened? When they had that meth went out, they started eating each other and horses and everything. Hitler didn't win that war. That was World War II.
Yep.
So drugs have never advanced the civilized civilization.
Never. Keep playing this.
In Singapore, reminders of the law are everywhere. Security cameras help to police this city-state, and strict rules ensure the country's famously low levels of crime. But punishments can be severe. Naziri bin Lajim was hanged last year. He was sentenced to death for drug trafficking after being found with about 33 grams of heroin.
Damn. So last year in Singapore, a man is found with 33 grams of heroin, and he is hanged. This man was hung for having 33 grams of heroin. If that happened to somebody inside of Canada or America, you would see riots everywhere on the street. You would see businesses being burnt down. You would see everybody in society going crazy because they would say that this man was not worthy of death. 33 grams of heroin.
On the eve of his death, I kept on fighting, appealing to the president, but they don't care about it. They still hang my brother.
Naziri was one of 11 men executed in Singapore last year. Activists believe around 50 people are awaiting execution. Naziri's sister wants the government policy to change.
Please abolish the death penalty and put them into life sentence.
Now, his sister, this is his sister. She watches her brother die. She watches her brother get hung for having 33 grams of heroin. And she says and is fighting for the government of Singapore to change their laws and just give him life in prison.
They was like, nope, he might break out.
If that woman knew what we knew over here in America, maybe she would think differently. Because
that woman might have been on heroin.
She might have been on heroin, boy.
She might have been on heroin.
Now, what did that verse say again? I suffer not a witch to live.
To live. And that's what they did. They followed the Bible.
They followed the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Even though, they some type of heathen nation.
God. Now, let me take it a little further in saying they don't fully follow the Bible.
No, well, they follow in that instance, sir.
Just
in that instance, that one instance.
You know what I mean? Because if they followed the Bible, if somebody got caught with 1 gram, you sell 1 goddamn gram of heroin. The Bible says, I suffer not a witch to live. There's no amount. You're not allowed to be a drug dealer. You're not allowed to sell drugs to men, women, children. You can't sell drugs to anybody, according to God.
Damn right.
Because he understands what will happen to a nation. The Most High could see what was going to happen in Canada the day they said, let's just release $100 million worth of drugs into the country.
Singapore should run Canada.
Good night. Good night.
50 people are awaiting execution. Naziri's sister wants the government policy to change.
Please abolish the death penalty and put them into life sentence.
Many of the visitors to this ultra-modern...
What's that?
She going to withdraw.
Right.
city-state might be somewhat surprised to discover that some criminals are still hanged here. And it leaves this country as part of a diminishing group. Amnesty International says that Singapore was one of just 4 countries in the world last year where drug-related executions were confirmed.
Pause
the Singapore government says
right there, sir. What Singapore is trying to do is eliminate or eradicate their drug problem.
That's right.
That's what Singapore is trying to do, right? Now, if you look over here in the Americas, they're not trying to eradicate their drug problems, because if America was trying to eradicate their drug problems, you would see a bunch of big time white dope dealers on trees.
That's right.
That's if they were trying to eradicate the drug problem.
Right.
Right. Let me tie it up.
Wow.
So that's how you know the difference between a country that is trying to eradicate the drug problem and a country that's promoting their drug issue.
God.
Understand, America was giving you oxycodone for a toothache. It's I forget the name of the documentary, but it's a part of the documentary, and it said we're going to have the guys in there would say we're going to have everybody strung out on this. They was giving you oxycodone for a toothache. They was giving people antidepressant pills and oxycodone, and they were overdosing in the hospital bathrooms.
Yeah, this society loves drugs. we can see it. Trust me, we see it.
Is an effective deterrent and ensures that their country remains safe. But their nearest neighbours, Malaysia, are taking a different approach. Earlier this year, lawmakers there voted to remove the mandatory death penalty.
Now, I want you to look this up, Abawan.
Yes, sir.
I want you to look up, since Malaysia has eliminated the death penalty for drugs, has drug addiction gotten worse or better? Because, and I got another article we'll get into after this. Indonesia, or Slovakia, Singapore, they started this quote unquote war on drugs back in the 1970s.
Hey, sir, you want me to look up Malaysia or Singapore?
Malaysia. Singapore still has the death penalty for drugs. Malaysia was a country that had the death penalty for drugs, but they just removed it. So I want you to look up, has Malaysia gotten worse or better with drug addiction since removing the death penalty for drugs? And this is such an important lesson, because I think the numbers, and I'm just quoting off.
There's no numbers, sir. What it's saying is that it said in 2023, Malaysia did not completely abolish the death penalty. It said instead it removed the mandatory death penalty for serious crimes, including drug trafficking. It says judge can now choose between the death penalty and a lengthy prison sentence, 30 to 40 years. It doesn't have any numbers on what the drugs have went up or down. The ODs went up and down.
No sweat. I'm gonna pull it up. Since you said Malaysia did what?
They did not completely eliminate the death penalty.
Right.
They removed it as being mandatory. The judge still has discretion to say whether they got 30, 40 years or the death penalty.
Gotcha. Let's see if I can pull it up. I should have brought it up because I had looked it up earlier. Let me see if I still got it. I'm gonna find that.
Give me a second.
Because I had found something saying how Malaysia has gotten significantly worse. Let's see if I can pull that up. And I'm gonna finish this video while I pull that up.
For a number of serious crimes. But could that make any difference to Singapore's policies?
I would expect the immediate reaction would be to reject it as much as they can before looking at it and say, okay, let's look at what the impact has been and see whether that means anything to us at all.
In nearby Thailand, notoriously tough drug laws are softening, with marijuana shops now a common sight. It's a stark contrast to Singapore.
I don't think it's translated to a lot of widespread support for decriminalization, but at least there's this question of, isn't executing them a bit too much?
Activist groups have led small protests in Singapore calling for executions to stop. They say they're starting to see a shift in mindset, but the government shows little sign of changing its stance. It likely means more heartache for the families of death row prisoners.
I sit down, I think of my brother, how he was hanged. I cried so much to imagine that how my brother was hanged. It'd be very, very painful. He's a healthy man, a 60-year-old man. You hang an old man, what for? What do you get?
Adam.
All right, I'm gonna show this sister what you get. I found something I want. This is all I looked up. I'm just doing a quick AI overview. Okay, I looked up since Malaysia removed that mandatory death penalty, did drug use go up or down? And it says, according to AI, it says yes. Recorded drug use and addiction in Malaysia has gone up significantly, according to official government data. Statistics from the National Anti-Drug Agency, AADK, and NADA, and Home Ministry show a steep rise in recorded drug abusers and addicts following the pandemic and heading into the mid-2020s. Now, this is after they removed that mandatory death penalty. Okay? I was surprised that when you looked it up, you didn't see something.
Well, you know, our internet is skewed over here. So I will have to do a deep dive and go around some of the. They don't want you to be informed as much as, because it's certain websites that you send me, I can't get on.
God. Yeah, if you look up, like this says, the recorded drug use and addiction in Malaysia has gone up significantly. You know what I mean? Not just a small amount. It has gone up significantly. And this is because they removed that mandatory death penalty. Now, what was that woman saying in the video? She's saying, you know, what was the purpose of hanging my brother?
So he won't bring no more drugs in the city.
That's it. Now, if you're a nation truly against drugs and you want to fix this problem, it would be wise for you to obey God. God said, I suffer not a witch to live. Singapore, there's a death penalty offense if you have, I think it's 15 grams of cocaine or more.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up what the penalty in Canada for having 15 grams of cocaine. You know what it is, Abawan?
What is it?
6 months to 2 years in prison.
That's it?
That's it. And if it's a first offense, it might not even be that much.
What kind of drug is that?
That was for, I believe, heroin and cocaine.
Because they giving brothers clock time over here in America. They don't give a crap if it's your first offense or not. It's,
I think it could be up to 10 years, depending on the state.
Yeah. It's 50, and it's clocked at 50 grams or less.
50?
That's 50 grams. That's 10 years for 50 grams or less.
So in America, if you have 50 grams or less, you can do what? Up to 10 years?
Up to 10 years for 50 grams or less.
That's 2 years in Canada. Shoot.
The war on drugs is just on black people. This is a war on black people. It's not a war on drugs in America. It might be. It sounds like it's a war on drugs in Singapore, but it don't sound like it's a war on drugs in America. In Canada, you know, they give you a slap on the wrist. Nigga be right back out selling dope in 6 months.
Come on, man.
Singapore says, "Suffer not a wish to live."
That's right. You know what I mean? And not even they ain't even fully executing it. You know what I mean? They're just saying, you know, we can put a man to death for dealing drugs. You know what I mean? Let me see. I had I got a couple articles. Let me pull up. Okay, let me pull up this one. Give me 1 second. And we're gonna skim through this article. It's a long article. So this is titled "How Singapore Defeated a Heroin Epidemic in the 1970s." What some people may not know, maybe they do, is that this death penalty in Singapore came up for a reason. It's because of the heroin epidemic that they had in 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
They had a serious problem. America also had a serious problem. Canada had a serious problem. And these three countries went at it a different way of solving it. You know what Ronald Reagan did? He put drugs in your community.
Say, I know how to stop them. Get them all high.
Right? He's sitting there telling you on TV, we got to end the war on drugs. Meanwhile, putting drugs in your community. You got the Canadian government over here opening safe injection sites all over Canada.
I know how to stop them. Give them dope.
Right? You see that woman? She's saying the evidence is working, Ahabawan.
Give them drugs. This how you keep them off drugs. You give them drugs.
Come on, man.
You see how stupid that sounds? America said, we're gonna fight against drugs, but we're gonna give it to them first.
Right.
Right. Understand is that, sir, you didn't pull up the article where it's a college in California where a doctor created crack.
Right.
I forget his name. I think it's Roy something.
Yep.
Dr. Roy something. I can't remember his last name. But he created crack in what's that? UCLA in the university. At the university.
Yeah.
So, you know, why you think that the crack epidemic started in LA? Because he went outside the damn school and passed it out.
That's right. Meanwhile, you have indigenous leaders. Man, I gotta bring that article back up. You got indigenous leaders looking to the government for help. That's the blind leading the blind.
You're looking towards the individual that's giving you drugs.
Right.
That's pumping drugs into your community. You actually, I want my oppressor to give me help. When has your oppressor ever given you help?
They
Right?
have never loved you.
That never loves you. That's why the Bible say, never trust thy enemy.
God.
The Bible say you never, is because sure as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So understand that your enemy is going to be wicked towards you. If he give you anything, he says a gift defiles the heart. If he give you anything, it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
All right. He gave the Native Americans comforters and quilts after he destroyed all the buffalo. Right. And that's why that bison hit that white man over the weekend and threw him 400 feet in the air and said, "This is for my ancestors." Did you see that video?
God.
It said that dude was like 8 feet in the air. He watched the video, he landed on his neck. Right. But you got to understand, Israel, is that the bison and the buffalo are relatives.
God.
They're related. And the bison remembered his ancestors. And if you watch in the beginning, he took the picture. You see him kicking and flashing. He couldn't get up.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming the flash had disorientated him. He was like, "No, I know what you did to my cousins." That's what the bison said. "I know what you did to my cousins. Yeah. See if you can climb with them." You know, that bison discovered that white men didn't have wings.
Right.
But if you watched him, he was the white man was zigzagging through the trees.
God.
And that bison was like, "You ain't getting away from this ass whooping." There's pictures of tens of thousands of buffalo stacked among each other, right? The white man down there eliminated the buffalo in America just to destroy our Native American brothers and sisters. Right? And then they would stand on top of these piles of dead buffalo and wouldn't even use the skins for anything. Just let it sit there and let the fowls of the air come in and eat on them.
Yep.
Whatever dog would walk past, when this was not only food, but shelter, right? Clothing for our Native American brothers and sisters. Right. Then they came back and gave them small pot-filled covers, quilts. "Oh, y'all cold? Yeah, you cold because you killed all the goddamn buffalo."
God.
We was using the buffalo as skins to keep us warm as clothing.
God. You just reminded me of something that I'm gonna bring up after this article, because that was a heavy thing you said, because something that I forgot, and I would be remiss not to mention this in this history class, is that indigenous people, before Europeans came over here, there was no drug problem.
Oh, you know what's that's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna pull that up.
No crack epidemic. There was no opioid epidemic.
Yep. I'm gonna pull that up because that I'm glad you said that.
I can't remember one Native American dope fiend.
God.
Because if it was one, they'd have put it in the history books. They'd have put it in that American history book.
They would have put it there. Trust me.
They already said that they were smoking peace pipe.
Right. Yeah.
But you know what, sir? They say the Native Americans smoking peace pipe. I've never seen a picture, like you see the real pictures of the Native Americans. I've never seen one with them having a peace pipe. I always see it when it's rumored or drawn up by the white man.
Do me a favor, Alvon. Pull up. I'm gonna bring this up too. Pull up a video of, these devils. What do they call them? the zombies or zonked out. They're bent over, walking down the downtown streets on fentanyl. See if you can pull a video of that up.
Let me see if I can find a zombie.
Yeah, we gonna show you the real savages. You know what I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. Let me read this real quick. I'm just gonna read parts of it.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I mean? Just to end on this point. So it said in 1970, right? This is how Singapore defeated a heroin epidemic. Okay, it says defeated. The story of how approximately 1 in 30 young Singaporean males was, not so long ago, a heroin addict. That means walking down the street of Singapore, 1 in every 30 men were addicted to heroin. It says, and why it is no longer a problem. Sometimes the simplest thing to do is learn history. That's one of the reasons I love this history class. I mean, I said that earlier. I'm glad they said that because you can learn from history. You know what I mean? We encourage Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous. Pick up the Bible because that's your history book. Read it and you can learn what to do and what not to do. See how your ancestors fell. See how we had success.
Hey, sir, if I may, I got a picture. I got a video of a zombie whenever you're ready.
All right, Most High in Christ, hold that.
Yes, sir.
It says, Singapore straight up, it says why it is no longer a problem. This problem doesn't exist in Singapore anymore. Originally published on September 18th, 2020, did you know that in the mid-1970s, Singapore had to grapple with a heroin epidemic that afflicted 3 to 4% of young men? Approximately 1 in 30 Singaporean males aged 15 to 24 was an addict. Overall, around 1 out of every 120 Singaporeans was a registered drug user by 1979. The third and final installment of my mini-series on tackling drugs is about a topic that I actually find most revolting of all. How clueless self-absorbed activists make careers out of parading their moral superiority with complete disregard for human life. Is that not Donald Trump?
Yes, sir.
Speaking on his moral superiority. You know what I mean? The president, all these elected officials, on their superiority in their morality. Donald Trump loves to say that these Mexicans, they're pedophiles, they're drug addicts, they're rapists. We need to get the Mexicans out of the country. You're parading as a moral human being. Yet reported 2.2 million Mexicans?
Yes, sir.
The drug problem's still the same.
It's probably getting worse.
It's probably getting worse.
Because now you done deported 2.2 million people. What that does is it brings your number down. So now you look like you got a higher percentage of drug addicts in your country.
And you know what's funny about that, one? The FBI says the reason for the drug cartel, the Mexican drug cartel, is because of how good business Americans are to them.
America would turn if America would cut off its intake of drugs, it would turn the Mexican cartel into bakers.
Right.
Because now you got to cook something else. You can't cook dope no more.
Yeah.
You be chefs and bakers and waiters. They wouldn't be able to make money off of that. And with the drug game, it brings in extortion of other cartels and other individuals. Imagine if America said, you know what? if America actually said no to drugs,
right,
and not buy another drug from the Mexican cartels, from the Russian mafia, from the what's that? The other Italian mafia, any of those guys?
right.
Imagine that will cut the drug, what you call that? The drug consumption off in America damn near immediately. And then they have to get rid of the other drug, the weed houses they got put up everywhere. Now, Canada got to stop letting people shoot up. Hey, you want me to pull up that video?
Look, I'm gonna read this really quick and then pull up that video.
Yes, sir.
It says, there's a quick AI overview. It says drug addiction and the associated harms have grown significantly worse since the U.S. war on drugs began in 1971. Over the past 5 decades, the country has spent over $1 trillion with little measurable impact on drug availability, as overdose fatalities have repeatedly reached historic record-breaking highs. Go ahead and bring up that video, Hubble.
Let me see what I can do for you. See if I can share my screen.
Because we can see that said since 1971, which means America, they failed on their war on drugs. But Singapore, they defeated their war on drugs. They defeated it, Ahabuma.
You ready, sir?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, Salaki.
Zombie awakenings.
Zombie awakenings.
Watch out for zombies. No, gotta go. Here comes a zombie.
Hold on, sir. Watch this.
Dude, it's
You picking up a little dope. Picking up them drugs.
oh my dude.
Sir, you see he just picked up that dope, right?
Yeah.
He picked up them pills. You see that, right?
Yeah.
Dude, come on. Yeah, dude, oh my. Dude, bail. Oh my god.
I think that's one.
I remember seeing a video where there was like 100 of them walking down the street at the same time.
Oh shit.
That was a hip hop junkie.
Look, man, you can look this up. You can look up, you know what I mean? You go to neighborhoods, those ones are small. You'll see hundreds, you know what I mean, of those people out there walking down the street.
Now that was just a quick 5 video, sir.
Right.
I was going to be fair because I was trying to find like some videos where our people were zombies, but the first 5 didn't show it.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Drugs affect our people the same way, even worse. Because with us being the children of the Most High, the punishments are worse because we have these laws, statutes, and commandments. So we know better. You ever like you the older son, the oldest child, you get your ass whooped because the younger brothers and sisters do something wrong?
Right.
That's what's going on with you, Israel. You know better because you the only family God has known. And he chose you to give his law, statutes, and commandments to. And since he chose you to give his law, statutes, and commandments to, you're gonna get the one to get the ass whooped.
That's a heavy point, which is why I wanted to share this, because I thought this was a really heavy point. Okay. And I need everybody to understand this. Okay. You look up historically, before Europeans got to America, this is what the AI overview says. It says, before Europeans arrived, widespread drug addiction was largely unknown in the Americas. Indigenous peoples extensively used psychoactive plants and fermented beverages such as tobacco, coca, peyote, and cactus wine. But this usage was strictly embedded within cultural, spiritual, and medicinal frameworks. They're telling you that drug addiction wasn't known. Now, think about this, Abawan.
Yes, sir.
You can look up historical records of Egyptians. What is this? 7,000 years ago? And you can see that drug use and addiction was a problem inside of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't find 400 years ago of drug use being a problem amongst indigenous peoples in America?
Well, if I may, sir, you know that drug use has always been amongst the pale-faced man, because remember, the black man wasn't allowed to drink Coca-Cola. And the reason why the black man wasn't allowed to drink Coca-Cola is because the white man said that Coca-Cola has to have cocaine in it, because they put cocaine in it. And then they said cocaine makes black men hypersexually attractive to white women. So Coca-Cola was considered a white man's drink. If you notice, a lot of your brothers and sisters drink Pepsi over Coca-Cola.
Yeah. I think history has proven who the real savage is.
Mm-hmm. We're trying to get. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I believe history has shown, who the uneducated man is.
Martin Luther King tried to get you to have equal rights to a savage.
Right.
He wanted to be the savage.
Yeah, nice. A quick shout out to Maria Redis Hughes.
Oh, that's Red Issues. That's a test, sir. That's from my other account.
Oh, Red Issues. Lucky. Red Issues.
Just a test.
We got Aisha Banath, Live G, Tawanda Williams, Shalom Yabashim Shabakatha, Shalom Yahweh Shamar Bashim Arashah.
Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe these classes. We need your help to get these classes out to our other brothers and sisters. Y'all know somebody that need to listen to these classes. They need to be in these classes. So don't hold it to yourself. Let them get some.
Pull up that verse one more time. I suffer not a witch to live.
What was that in Exodus?
Imagine if, and this is what I love about the UPK. Imagine a society where if you were caught with 1 gram of heroin getting ready to sell somebody, you know what I mean, or you were caught selling drugs to anybody, that you were put to death, and there was no, we're gonna think about it whether we put you to death or not. It's just straight death penalty, Habon. Could you imagine the society that we would live in today?
Just straight death penalty.
Just death.
Like, oh, we caught you selling drugs. Imagine if the execution was on site. Because that's what Esau wants to do. When he run up into, you got Judah over there selling a little weed at the house, selling little pills or whatever. Esau want to run up in the house and unalive everybody. He want to execute judgment. He wants to suffer, not a wish to live. Right. But he also wants to take those drugs and the money and go sell the drugs. You ready for it, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Exodus chapter 22 and verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
I mean, we don't have to suffer you. We don't have to suffer you being on this goddamn earth. Imagine that. None of you exist. You get caught, you're gone. Imagine if that was a rule that we lived by. If that was a law that we upheld. Now, I'm not telling anybody to go and, unalive anybody dealing drugs. I'm telling you that in this society that we live in, we clearly see that it is not a death penalty offense. Not only is it not a death penalty offense, in some cases, it's encouraged. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You saw America looking at how much money people were making off weed. They said, you know what? We should make weed legal. They made that legal. Now you pay taxes on buying goddamn weed.
If I may, sir, if I may.
Come on, man.
Prohibition. Prohibition. America seen how much money these bootleggers was making off of alcohol, and then alcohol became legal.
Right.
America seen how much money the neighborhood dope man was making off of weed, and then weed became legal. Mm-hmm. I'll take it even farther. Go to Las Vegas. America found out how much these pimps was making off of prostitution, and then prostitution became legal. The suffer puffy. Now, what you have to understand is that America does not care about any morale, right? Its morals are toilet paper.
Yeah.
It cares about the petrodollar. That's what Trump cares about, having trillions of petrodollars. As long as he has trillions of petrodollar, he basically don't give a sugar honey iced tea about you. You'll catch that acronym later on, sir. Look at sugar honey iced tea. What's the first letters of each one?
You said sugar lemon?
Sugar honey iced tea.
Sugar honey iced tea.
I'm trying to become more politically correct.
Right. Hey, that's good, because I'm going to make a bunch of clips out of this class. So the better we practice that, the better. You know what I mean? Because this information, it really is important to get out.
Yes, sir.
I think Singapore was an excellent example, of a country that's, they're getting there. You know what I mean? They tried to do something, And you could see when they followed the wisdom of the Bible, they had success.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? I would go as far as to say and encourage them that to take that shit even further. You know what I mean? You get caught with 1 gram, death penalty offense. You know what I mean?
You talking about a gram? I'm talking about getting caught with a 10.
Right?
Getting caught with a line. Because think about this, sir. If understand what sin is, right? Sin is transgression of the law, right? Anytime you was to perform the what you may call the most minute sin, the priest come through and they off with your head, right? And that forced us to do what? Not to commit sin, especially not around a priest, right? So imagine if nobody committed in Israel, the 12 tribes. Imagine where we would be if none of us committed sin from the top down. You know what happened? You know what happened, right? Christ would be back. Oh, Christ, like, I got to get there early.
Good night. I'm looking up one last statistic because we get to the end of the class.
Yes, sir.
Because I was just thinking of this, and I said this would be interesting to know. It says approximately 75,000 people die from drug overdoses annually across the 2 most populous countries in North America, United States and Canada. 75,000 people each year, Abu. Now, I'm curious to know how many drug dealers are put in jail each year in North America. Let me see if a number pops up. It says in North America, let's see, federal and state facilities hold over 150,000 individuals specifically for drug trafficking, with tens of thousands of new convictions and prison sentences added annually.
So with that 75,000, sir, that's 205 people a day. That's 205. So 205 people a day die from drug overdose. And you still want to get out there and get high. 205 people a day. Well, you know, understand is that sisters was having over 300,000 abortions a year. So we committed to just killing ourselves with abortions and drugs and all these other things, homosexuality. Why should we commit to kill ourselves?
Right.
Because now the conspiracy theory about population control goes out the window. Because you see how many people dying a day.
Right. Check out this last one that will end the class. It says approximately 29.1 million people are estimated to have a diagnosable drug use disorder, addiction to illicit drugs, or misuse prescription medications across the United States and Canada. This figure expands significantly to roughly 45 million people if alcohol use disorders are included in the definition of substance addiction. You got 29 million people addicted to drugs, Alvin.
Yes, sir. And then you got another 40 million alcoholics. What's that? Another 30 million alcoholics.
Wow. Look, man, something's got to change in this place, Alvin.
Christ got to return. That's what's gonna happen. That's gonna be the only positive change for Babylon.
there anything else you want to say on this topic before we end the class?
La, sir.
All right, Most High in Christ. With that, we're going to say Shalom. Yahweh Shem Shabbat Thunder the brothers. Yahweh Shema Thunder Shem Shabbat the sisters. All right, there's another history class. Water for tuning in. And make sure you tune in to Black Watch. Okay, Black Watch is coming on. They're live right now. All right, check them out. And don't forget, we got Midwest Fire Weekend coming up. Coming up 3 weeks. What are we, 3 weeks away?
Something like that, I think so. 2.5, 3.
2.5, 3 weeks.
Yep.
Gonna be there. Make sure you check it out. Check out IHBK Detroit's Facebook, IHBK Windsor's Facebook. Get all the information on the Midwest Fire Weekend. Lord allow, we see you there. All right.
Or they can hit the QR code.
Yeah, check out the QR code that's on there. You know what I mean? Hit that QR code. You get all the information you need. All right. With that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isubk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're